Adrian Clark sat in the back row of the giant meeting hall. He felt small. As the human diplomat to the Galactic Confederation, he was used to being ignored. Aliens with bright colors, strange shapes, and ancient histories filled the room. They rarely looked his way. Humans were newcomers in space, having only figured out faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. The older aliens had been exploring stars for thousands of years. But today was different. An emergency alarm had called all 27 alien species to Harmony Station, a massive space platform that served as the Confederation's meeting place. Adrian noticed the tension in the room. Even species that normally fought were quiet and worried. The Araxians had called the meeting. They looked like walking crystals that shimmered when they moved. Their leader, Elder Kyleth, stepped forward. His voice echoed through the chamber. "We have spotted something terrible coming from the edge of our galaxy," he said. A large 3D image appeared in the middle of the room. It showed a dark, moving mass traveling between stars. "This is a void swarm. Our oldest books speak of it." With fear, Adrian watched closely. The image showed something like a cloud of darkness flowing through space. The Araxians explained that the void swarm was a group of space creatures that ate energy, any kind of energy. They consumed stars, technology, and even living beings. The swarm had only appeared twice in recorded history. Each time, it had killed off many planets before retreating back to the galaxy's edge. "The void swarm will reach inhabited planets in 2 years," Elder Kyleth said. His crystal body dimmed with concern. "Our records show that planet defenses do not work against it. We must evacuate all planets in its path." Adrian felt a question forming in his mind. He raised his hand, which made several aliens turn and glare at him. Humans were expected to sit quietly and learn, not speak up. "If this swarm eats energy," Adrian asked, "has anyone tried to cut off its food supply?" The room went completely silent. Then came whispers and mocking laughs. A bird-like alien named Felks ruffled his bright feathers. "The human thinks we can starve a force that eats stars," Felks said, his beak clicking with amusement. "How simple your species thinks." Elder Kyleth raised a crystal arm for quiet. "Young human, the void swarm crosses deep space where little energy exists, yet it survives. Your question shows why humans are seen as hasty." What the elder didn't say, but what everyone thought, was cowardly. Humans had a strange reputation in space. They had developed technology quickly, but they were known for being too careful. Human ships had backup systems for their backup systems. Human colonies were only built after years of planet surveys. Human diplomats always urged caution. To the ancient species watching them, human caution looked like fear. After the meeting, Adrian returned to Earth carrying bad news. Evacuate the outer colonies within 2 years. When he told Earth's Security Council what happened, he added his own ideas. "The Confederation has given up on hundreds of worlds," Adrian said. "But I think we have another option. The void swarm follows energy. What if we could lead it somewhere else?" Security Council Director Olivia Wilson looked up from the data. She had white hair and scars from Earth's unification wars. Her eyes narrowed. "You want to try redirecting this thing? When aliens with millions of years of tech experience say that's impossible?" Adrian nodded. "The older species have one big weakness. They've lived so long by being careful. They're only planning how to survive, not how to win." Wilson's serious face broke into a smile. "So we humans are supposedly too careful to earn their respect, but not careful enough to just accept their plan." She turned to the other council members. "Let's show the galaxy what human caution really means. We prepare for the worst. And sometimes that means taking action when everyone else is running away." The council room filled with murmurs. Wilson stood up and pounded her fist on the table. "The aliens call us cowards because we check our equipment 3 times. They mock us because we run tests before taking risks. They don't understand that real caution isn't about avoiding danger. It's about being ready to face it." Adrian watched as determination spread across the faces around the table. Earth wouldn't just accept the coming disaster. They would find a way to fight it. If the Void Swarm wants energy, Wilson continued, then maybe we can use that against it, like baiting, a trap. For the first time since learning about the threat, Adrian felt hope. The older aliens might have given up, but humans hadn't. They would create a plan, check it carefully, and then act with purpose. Set up a research team immediately, Wilson ordered. Pull in our best scientists. I want options on my desk in 1 week. She looked at Adrian. And don't tell the Confederation yet. Let's have a solid plan before we face their doubts. As Adrian left the meeting, he thought about humanity's place in the galaxy. The aliens saw humans as newcomers, inexperienced, and afraid. But perhaps what they called cowardice was actually humanity's greatest strength, the ability to plan carefully and then take bold action when needed. The Void Swarm was coming. The galaxy's oldest species had already accepted defeat. But humanity wasn't ready to surrender, not when there might be another way. 2 years, Adrian thought. 2 years to save not just ourselves, but everyone. Karen Foster looked out the window of the space station orbiting Jupiter. 6 months ago, she had been just a regular engineer working on colony ships. Now she was in charge of humanity's biggest project ever. The lighthouse is ready to start, said her helper Daniel Jackson. All systems look good. Karen took a deep breath. The lighthouse wasn't a real lighthouse like on Earth's oceans. It was a huge machine that made energy, lots of energy. The plan was simple but clever. Make a trail of energy through space that would lead the hungry Void Swarm away from planets with people on them. Start the power up, Karen said, trying to sound calm even though her heart was racing. The aliens from the Confederation had made it clear they thought this was a bad idea. The bird-like Talarians had called it a waste of resources that could be used for evacuation. The blue-skinned Novans had officially scolded Earth for putting galactic security at risk. No alien species would help build the lighthouse. Only humans worked on it. Only humans thought it might save everyone. As the giant machine hummed to life, Karen remembered what Adrian Clark had told her when he asked her to join the project. The galaxy thinks we're scared because we check everything 3 times and run many tests before doing anything. They don't get that being careful isn't about avoiding danger. It's about being ready to face danger the right way. The lighthouse began to glow as it powered up. The team had worked day and night for months to make sure the energy it made would attract the Void Swarm without making it move faster or get hungrier. The main control room was packed with engineers and scientists. Everyone was quiet, watching their screens. This was the moment they had worked for. We're ready to send out the first drones, Daniel said, his finger hovering over the launch button. Karen nodded. Launch them. With a soft whoosh, the first wave of drones shot out from the lighthouse. They were small metal objects that moved incredibly fast. These drones would create a path of energy, like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, that would lead the Void Swarm away from where people lived, and toward an empty part of space with a supermassive black hole. The team hoped the black hole might trap or destroy the space monster that was coming toward them. On the big screen in front of them, little dots of light showed where each drone was going. The pattern looked like a curving road leading far away from any planets with people. It's beautiful, whispered one of the scientists. Karen felt both proud and worried. The plan looked perfect in their computer tests, but no one had ever tried to trick a Void Swarm before. If they failed, people would blame humans for wasting time that could have been used to evacuate planets. Message from Earth, Daniel said, giving her a tablet to read. The Confederation Council wants us to stop the mission right now. They're saying our energy trail might make the swarm move faster. Karen read the message, then put the tablet down on the control panel. Send them our test results again and tell them we're going ahead as planned. She turned to look at the main screen showing the pattern of drones. The difference between being a coward and being careful is that careful people still take action when needed. We've done all our homework. Now we follow through. For the next few weeks, everyone watched and waited. The deep space stations that watched distant parts of the galaxy started to send exciting news. The Void Swarm was changing direction. It was following the energy breadcrumbs left by the human drones. The Confederation representatives were shocked and suspicious. You feel? No, Adrian told Karen during a private video call. Even if this works, they'll find some way to criticize us. If we succeed, they'll just say we got lucky. Karen smiled at the screen. I'd rather be lucky cowards who saved the galaxy than respected aliens who accepted that worlds had to die. More reports came in each day. The swarm was definitely following their energy trail. The path was working, but it was still too early to celebrate. One day, Daniel rushed into Karen's office. You need to see this, he said, showing her new data. The swarm is moving faster now that it's found our energy trail. Some aliens are saying we've made things worse. Karen studied the numbers carefully. The swarm is moving faster, but it's moving in the direction we want it to go, away from inhabited planets and toward our trap. This is actually good news. The Araxians are demanding we shut down the lighthouse, Daniel said. They say we're interfering with their evacuation plans. Karen stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the giant lighthouse structure glowing against the blackness of space. We're not shutting anything down. Send more drones, make the energy trail stronger. Let's make sure that thing follows our path all the way to the black hole. Some of the team are getting worried about the alien pressure, Daniel admitted. They say maybe we should have just followed the Confederation's plan. Karen turned to face him. The easy path was to run away. We chose the harder path, to stand and fight. Not because we're brave heroes, but because we're careful planners who refuse to accept that worlds have to be destroyed when there might be another way. She walked back to her desk and pressed the button to address the entire lighthouse team. This is Foster. I know you're hearing a lot of doubt from the Confederation. They never believed in this project. But our data shows the swarm is following our energy trail just as we predicted. We're going to continue with the plan. Humanity didn't join the stars to follow the same old paths. We came to find new solutions. As she finished speaking, a cheer erupted from the control room down the hall. Karen smiled. The path ahead was still dangerous, but humans were moving forward together. Careful, prepared, and determined to save not just themselves, but everyone. Alan Peterson stared at the big screen on the wall. He was alone in the quiet room at the front of the science ship named Discovery. As the main scientist studying alien life, his job was to watch the dark mass called the Void Swarm and figure out if the human plan was working or making things worse. The screen showed a map of stars with a moving black cloud. The swarm had definitely changed its path to follow the energy trail left by the lighthouse drones. But it wasn't moving in a straight line. Sometimes it went fast, sometimes slow. Sometimes it split apart, then came back together. Dr. Peterson, Samantha Rodriguez rushed into the room, her face excited. You have to see this. She pressed some buttons on her tablet, and new pictures appeared on the big screen. The swarm isn't just following our trail. It's learning how to find the energy better. Alan looked carefully at the patterns on the screen. The Void Swarm was getting better at finding and eating the energy from the drones. This wasn't just a mindless space monster. It seemed to have some kind of group mind. Did you tell the lighthouse team about this? He asked. Samantha nodded. Yes. They're changing where they put the drones, but they're worried. If the swarm is smart enough to learn patterns, it might figure out our trap. The trap was the final part of the human plan. The energy trail led to a place with a supermassive black hole. Around the black hole, humans had placed special bombs that would explode one after another, making a waterfall of energy that would pull the swarm into the black hole's gravity, where nothing could escape. Alan's computer made a ringing sound. Someone was calling. On the screen appeared the face of Zolteth, an alien who looked like a walking fish. He represented the meridians at Helios Station, where the Confederation was running its evacuation. Human scientist, the fish alien said without saying hello. Your human meddling has caused a new problem. The Void Swarm is moving 22% faster now. Several star systems that were safe before are now in danger. Alan had expected this complaint. Ambassador, our data shows that the swarm changed direction toward our energy trail before it sped up. Those star systems would have been eaten eventually anyway. The difference is that now we have a chance to stop the threat completely. A chance you figured out with your simple understanding, Zolteth said with a sneer. The Confederation Council has voted. If your trap doesn't work, humans will be blamed for all losses caused by the swarm's new path. After the call ended, Samantha looked worried. They're setting us up to be blamed if anything goes wrong. Of course they are, Alan said with a small smile. But notice what they're not doing. They're not stopping us. Deep down, they hope we succeed. They're just protecting themselves in case we fail. In the next few days, the Discovery moved closer to the trap site, staying at a safe distance to watch what would happen when the swarm met the black hole. Around the galaxy, evacuations continued, but with less panic. Many alien species were secretly starting to hope the human plan might work. Though day finally came, the Void Swarm reached the first set of energy bombs. Alan and his team watched with wide eyes as the space monster ate the energy. Just as they had planned, each explosion led the swarm closer and closer to the black hole's gravity pull. "It's working," Samantha whispered as the numbers on her screen showed the swarm was now caught in the black hole's pull. But then something strange happened. New readings appeared on their screens. The swarm was changing shape, squeezing itself into a tighter ball. "It's trying to escape," Alan said. "It can feel the gravity trap." He quickly sent the new information to the Lighthouse team. They answered, right away. They were sending all their backup drones to make an even stronger energy trail leading deeper into the gravity well. For 5 long hours, they watched a cosmic tug-of-war. The swarm pulled against gravity while the energy lured it. Bored. The team barely spoke, too nervous to take their eyes off the screens. Finally, the reading stopped changing. "We've reached the point of no return," Alan announced, his voice filled with relief. "The swarm can't escape the black hole's gravity now. Even if it eats all the energy left, the math is clear. It's trapped forever." When he sent this news to the Confederation Council, the answer was cold. "No congratulations, no thank you. Just a short note saying, the threat appears to be contained, and we are still evaluating the long-term stability of the containment." Alan smiled as he read the message. The aliens still couldn't admit humans had succeeded. "They think we just got lucky," he told Samantha, who was celebrating with the rest of the team. "They don't understand that luck favors the prepared." The ship's dining room, the crew of the Discovery was having an impromptu party. People were laughing and hugging. Some even had tears in their eyes. They had done what the oldest species in the galaxy thought was impossible. Alan sat down with a cup of coffee, suddenly feeling very tired. "You know," he said to Samantha, who joined him, "the aliens are right about one thing. We don't know everything about the Void Swarm. This containment might not be permanent." Samantha nodded. "But we bought the galaxy time. Time to study it. Time to prepare better defenses. That's more than the Confederation's evacuation plan would have done." "Exactly," Alan said. "And we did it by being exactly what we are. Cautious, humans who refuse to accept that some problems can't be solved." As the celebration continued around them, Alan's tablet pinged with new data. The Void Swarm was still trapped, still circling the event horizon of the black hole. For now, the crisis was averted. But Alan couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the end of the story. "What are you thinking?" Samantha asked, noticing his serious expression. "I'm thinking we should learn everything we can about this thing while it's trapped," Alan said. "Something about it still doesn't make sense. Space creatures don't just appear from nowhere in target populated areas. There's more to this story." Little did he know how right he was. Michelle Scott loved old things more than she liked most people. As the head digger of ancient objects at the Meridian Archives, she spent her days studying things left behind by alien civilizations that had died out long ago. She preferred the quiet company of these old artifacts to the noisy politics of the Confederation. When Adrian Clark called her asking for help to look at the deepest, most secret parts of the archives, she wasn't sure she wanted to get involved. Usually when government people got interested in her work, they wanted to find ancient weapons or technology they could use against enemies. "This isn't about weapons," Adrian promised during their private call. "It's about the Void Swarm. We've trapped it, but something doesn't make sense. The old records about when the swarm appeared before don't match up. Michelle's curiosity won over her caution. She used her special access card to enter parts of the archives that almost nobody was allowed to visit, not even most Meridians. What she found there changed everything she thought she knew. The void swarm isn't natural, she told Adrian when they met in person at the archives. It was made by someone, a weapon created billions of years ago during a war between the first civilizations in our galaxy. She showed him ancient crystal data storage devices that contained detailed plans. The swarm had been built as a self-copying weapon that could target enemy worlds by eating their energy. After the war ended, the creators lost control of their weapon, and it had gone to sleep at the edge of the galaxy, waking up every few thousand years when certain types of stars exploded. "There's more," Michelle said, her voice dropping to a whisper even though they were alone. The Araxians knew this all along. Their civilization is old enough to have records from that time. They knew the swarm was artificial, which means they probably knew how to defeat it without evacuations or our black hole trap. Adrian sat down heavily in a chair, trying to understand this news. Why would they hide that knowledge? Why let worlds be destroyed if they could stop it? Michelle hesitated before answering. I found references to something called the Ascension Protocol. It seems the oldest species in the Confederation, the Araxians, the Novans, the Talarians, have been using the Void Swarm as a test. A test for what? For species they think might be worthy of joining their inner circle. They let the swarm approach populated areas, then watch how developing civilizations respond. Species that save themselves, through working together and accepting sacrifice, are deemed worthy of ascension to higher status. Adrian's face darkened with anger. And humanity failed their test by refusing to just accept evacuation. We found a solution that saved everyone instead of accepting their predetermined outcome. Exactly, Michelle said. According to their protocol, a worthy species accepts that sacrifice is necessary for the greater good. By refusing to sacrifice any worlds and instead finding another way, humanity showed independence that the elder species find threatening. This news was huge. The Confederation wasn't just a friendly group of space civilizations. It was a system designed to identify and control species with traits the founders valued. We need to tell Earth's Security Council right away, Adrian said. And we need to decide how to tell the Confederation we know their secret. Michelle nodded but added, be careful. The archives have hidden cameras. The elder species probably already know we've discovered their secret. They won't want the younger members to find out. As they gathered the data crystals to take with them, Michelle's computer made an alarm sound. She checked the message and looked at Adrian with wide eyes. The black hole containment is failing. The swarm is escaping. Adrian jumped to his feet. How is that possible? The math showed it couldn't escape once it passed the event horizon. Michelle's fingers flew over the keys of her computer. Someone is helping it, she said after studying the readings. There's an energy signature I don't recognize interacting with the swarm. It's pulling it out of the black hole's gravity well. The elder species, Adrian guessed. They're using the same technology that created the swarm to control it. They won't let us succeed because it ruins their test. Michelle downloaded all the data she could find onto a small memory device and handed it to Adrian. Take this to Earth. I'll keep looking here for anything that might help us understand how to permanently stop the swarm. It's too dangerous for you to stay, Adrian argued. If they know what we've found. I've spent my life studying extinct civilizations, Michelle said with a sad smile. One thing I've learned is that knowledge is worth the risk. Go. Earth needs to know what we're really facing. As Adrian reluctantly left the archives, he looked back to see Michelle already back at work, searching through more ancient data crystals. His mind raced with what they had learned. The void swarm wasn't a natural disaster. It was a weapon being used by the oldest species in the galaxy to test everyone else, and humans had just failed their test by refusing to play by the rules. His flight back to Earth, Adrian studied the data Michelle had given him. It included technical details on how the swarm was created and controlled. With this information, Humanity might be able to fight back not just against the swarm, but against the manipulation of the elder species. When his ship's computer alerted him to an incoming transmission from Earth, he was surprised to see the face of Olivia Wilson, the Security Council director. Adrian returned to Earth immediately. "The Void Swarm has broken free and is moving again," she said, her face grave. "But that's not all. We're picking up energy, signatures matching Araxian technology near the black hole. They're not just letting the swarm escape, they're guiding it directly toward Earth." Natalie Wright stood on the bridge of Earth's biggest spaceship, the Defiant. Behind her was a fleet of ships put together in a hurry after they learned the truth about the Ascension Protocol. Earth had decided to act alone, without asking the Confederation for permission. "The Lighthouse team is ready," her second-in-command Ben Williams reported. "Karen Foster's group has changed the energy projectors based on the information from the archives." The new information had changed everything. The Void Swarm wasn't just following any energy, it was following special energy patterns used by its ancient creators to control it. The black hole trap had probably failed because the elder alien species had interfered on purpose. They didn't want humans to succeed when their test required failure. "The Araxian ship is calling us," Ben said. Natalie nodded. "Put them on screen." Elder Kyleth's crystal body appeared on the big screen. "Captain Wright, you are going against Confederation emergency rules. Your fleet must leave at once." "I'm sorry, Elder, but we can't do that," Natalie replied calmly. "We know about the Ascension Protocol, and how you hid information about the swarm's true nature. Humanity will not let populated worlds be sacrificed for a test we never agreed to take part in." The Araxian's crystal body darkened, showing anger. "You misunderstand ancient matters beyond your simple minds. The protocol makes sure only worthy species get power. Your kind has shown dangerous unpredictability. What you call unpredictability, we call refusing to accept false choices," Natalie shot back. "Your protocol assumes sacrifice is inevitable. We've shown it's not." "Your trap failed," Kyleth said. "The swarm escaped." "With help from Araxian energy signals," Natalie replied, watching with satisfaction as Kyleth's crystal body flickered in surprise. "We detected the control frequencies you used to guide it out of the black hole. Did you think we wouldn't watch all energy patterns in the area?" Before Kyleth could answer, Natalie continued. "The Defiant and our fleet aren't here to fight the swarm with normal weapons. We're here to end it forever." She signaled to Ben, who activated the modified lighthouse system. The massive energy projector on the Defiant began sending out carefully tuned frequencies, not to lure the swarm but to command it. On the main screen, the approaching Void Swarm slowed, then stopped. Its cloud-like shape began to change, shrinking, and then breaking into separate pieces. "It's working," Ben reported with excitement. "The command frequencies are triggering the swarm's original shutdown code. It's breaking apart into its basic pieces and turning off." Elder Kyleth watched in silence before finally speaking. "You may have stopped the immediate danger, Captain, but your species has still failed the Ascension Protocol. By refusing to accept necessary sacrifice, you've shown a dangerous way of thinking that cannot be allowed among the leaders of the Confederation." Natalie smiled. "With respect, Elder, I don't think that choice is yours alone anymore. We've already sent our findings about the protocol to every member species of the Confederation. The younger civilizations are very interested to learn how their development has been controlled." The Araxian cut the transmission without another word. Later, at a special meeting of the Reformed Confederation Council, Adrian Clark spoke to representatives of all 27 civilizations. The false choice was thinking that sacrifice is needed for progress, he said. Humanity showed there's another way. Together we can face challenges without predetermined losses. As he finished speaking, he realized how much humanity's reputation had changed. Once seen as cowards, humans were now viewed as innovators and reformers. The line between cowardice and caution was action. When everyone else had given up, only the cowardly humans took action and proved everyone wrong.